Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost Stories on a Sunday as nature intended. Oh my goodness me, we don't want to upset the natural order of things, although I have noticed that I have upset the natural order of my candles there. That's better. That's probably a bit, yeah, that's a bit better. That one still seems a bit, what do you do on Sunday night? I tuned in to watch Sunday Night Ghost Stories, but I watched a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head faff around with his candles. Right. I am minded of the fact that we didn't run the video. So it's Burns night, and so we are going to dip into the haunted places of Scotland, second edition by Martin Coventry. So I've noticed that we're already some way through this, so I get the funny feeling we've probably started reading this already. But these are all beautifully short, which means they don't go on too long, and we get some drinking in. So right, so talking of which, what are we drinking tonight? Well, hello, Derp. We've got from the Leeds Brewery. Derp, I'm trying to do a broadcast here. You're in the way. Come on. Come on. Get off. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Look at that. What did you? I tuned in to watch Ghost Stories. Instead, I got a prime view of a cat's ass. So we are drinking from the Leeds Brewery Midnight Bell, which I love the packaging on it. I love these craft beers. And Derp agrees with me. I just love the packaging on them. 4.8%, rich dark ale, named after the pub in the Patrick Hamilton novel. This beer is a drink for all drinkers. Williamette hops and roasted malts combine to create a smooth, rich, and complex beer embodying the community only pubs can provide us with. Midnight Bell from the Leeds Brewery, rich dark ale, 4.8%. However, it is also, and Run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Indeed, right. Let's crack on, shall we? Oh, and we're also washing it down tonight with the single grain scotch from Lidl. Can I continue, Derp? Thank you. Berwick Castle. Although now in England, Berwick was an important Scottish burgh by 1120 and had its own strong fortress. In 1296, at the onset of the Wars of Independence, it was seized by Edward I, and 6,000 men, women, and children were slaughtered by the English. The Ragman Dole was signed here the same year. The list, I can't read what's going on here. The list of the many Scots nobles and churchmen who paid homage to Edward. The streets were apparently still full of rotting corpses. Read that again. The Ragman Dole was signed here that same year. The list of the many Scots nobles and churchmen who paid homage to Edward. The streets were apparently still full of rotting corpses. Isabella Duff, Countess of Buchan, who had crowned Robert the Bruce, despite being married to a Comyn, was imprisoned for 4 weeks in a cage hung from the castle walls of Berwick. One story tells that the ruins are haunted by the ghost of Edward I. The Scots recaptured the burgh and castle in 1318, and it was fought over for many years until 1482, when taken by the English for the last time. Much of the old castle was destroyed when the railway was built, and the station stands on the site of the Great Hall. Oh, Derp, you can never, you can never be disappointed by the English acting like a bunch of asses, quite frankly. So let's have some of this. What's it called now? Midnight Bell. So in the magnificent Rush beer glass. So cheers, me beers. Thank you, viewers Kirsten and Steve in the States. Oh, that's really malty, but that's nice. I like that. Very nice. Right. Beal. The ancient estate of Beal was a property of the Hamiltons, who were made Lords Belthaven in 1647, and the property was held by the family until 1958, which is 2 minutes to 8 o'clock. John Hamilton II, Lord Belhaven, was imprisoned for opposing the succession of James VII and strongly opposed the union of parliaments. He died in 1708. There is a plaque on the outside of the house with the inscription in Latin: "The first year of the betrayal of Scotland." The house is still occupied and dates from mostly the 19th century, although the building incorporates the basement of a 13th century castle. The grounds, and especially the Ladies' Walk, are said to be haunted by Anne Bruce of Earlshall, the White Lady of Beal. She was the wife of John Hamilton, 3rd Lord Belhaven. He was made governor of Barbados, but he was drowned after his ship sank in 1721. Anne is said to have been a great beauty and to have had very pale and translucent skin. The story goes that she became disenchanted with her husband after he was unfaithful to her and took to walking the grounds of Beal by herself, even after the death of her husband. Bum, bum, bum. What do you make of that, Derps? Not much. Cheers, me beers. Oh, these are lovely, these craft beers. Very nice. Anyway, Slange. Oh, Big House, or Big House. The large and imposing symmetrical mansion dates from 1765, and there is a walled garden more than an acre in extent. This was a property of the Mackays of Big House, who held the lands from 1597, but the building is now used as an exclusive hotel and restaurant. Big House is said in some stories to be haunted by a green lady, the spirit of a woman who hanged herself in one of the bedrooms at the end of the 19th century. The apparition is reputedly seen mostly in one room and is said to have been observed walking through walls. Well, you'd hope a ghost would walk through walls. I'd be very disappointed if a ghost started opening doors because, well, that would mean they're made of solid matter and ghosts aren't, in theory. Derp's nodding his head in agreement here. Aren't you, Derp? Burke Hall. You're a Burke Hall, Derp. Burke Hall. The present small mansion of Burke Hall dates from 1715, which is 5:15, although there are later extensions and it replaced an older residence or castle. The lands were originally known as Sterrin and were held by the Gordons. The property was sold to Prince Albert, consort of Queen Victoria, in 1848. He also purchased nearby Balmoral. He also purchased nearby Balmoral. Burke Hall was used by Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, the Queen Mother, until her death in 2002. The grounds around Burke Hall are reputed to be haunted by the White Lady of Sterrin, a ghost which heralded deaths in the Gordons or the resident family. A sighting was reported in 1901 before Queen Victoria died, although doubt was cast on the account, while another report in 1926 has the phantom going through the grounds before vanishing with a shriek into the river Muick. So it's got to be said, a ghost which heralded a ghost which heralded deaths in the Gordons. But one is hoping that if death was predicted and it turned out it didn't happen, that somebody did say, "Gordon's alive." Sorry, that was a long-winded way of getting that terrible joke out, and Derp's pretty much disgusted with me, so slange me by everybody. Oh, lovely. Birkwood House. The former hospital incorporated Birkwood House, a large old Gothic mansion of 5 stories. The house was probably built by the Todd family, Mundy, who owned the property in the 19th century, but was then inhabited by the McCurdy family. From 1923, Birkwood was used as a psychiatric hospital, then known as the Institution for Mental Defectives, but this was recently closed. There are plans afoot to convert the mansion into a hotel and leisure facility and build houses in the wooded grounds. The building was said to be haunted. Activity is reported to have included footsteps being heard repeatedly coming from unoccupied areas, lights turning themselves off and on, and locked windows unlocking themselves. The smell of cigar smoke was apparently often witnessed near the blue staircase when nobody was smoking. As I've mentioned before, that my office and workshop downstairs decades ago, used to be my dad's office, and my dad, chronically heavy smoker, that's what killed him in the end. And even though when I inherited this house that I stripped the wallpaper off, ripped the carpets up, I repainted everything, by and large, the smell, the acrid kind of stale smell of tobacco has gone. But every now and then I'll be upstairs and that smell wafts up the staircase out of nowhere. It could just be my brain playing tricks with me. So, but yeah, most bizarre. Cheers me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. What are we up to? 15 minutes. We're doing well, Derps. Burnham House Hotel. That's Burnham spelt Birnam, not Burnham as in Burnham-on-Sea, or indeed Andy Burnham, who's back in the news again. In the picturesque village of Burnham, the hotel is an impressive castellated mansion with a large baronial hall and a tower with an unusual pagoda roof. The mansion was built around 1850 for Sir William Stuart, and the interior had to be restored after a fire of 1912. The building is now used as a hotel, although this may have closed recently. The hotel is said by some to be haunted. Oh, brilliant. That's a genius, that. It's a book on haunted places of Scotland. And it mentions this place, the hotel. Well, it is said to be haunted by what? Well, we're not entirely sure. But possibly could be haunted, maybe, or maybe not. So I got the beer hiccups there for a second. Slange me bar. Oh, Derps. Don't let me forget, I've got snacks here. Of course I have. Let me just pop the St. Mary Magdalene bookmark, Taunton, into the book. Oops. Oh dear, he spilt some of his love corn. We'll fish that out later on. So we've got some of the love corn. Very nice. And then we got some pretzels as well. So not a big fan of pretzels, but what did I do on Sunday night? I watched a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head with a cat perched on his lap, eating snacks. I should set up my own kind of OnlyFans kind of thing. Is I'm sure people would pay big money to watch a confused man from Dudley eat snacks live on the internet. Bishop's Palace, Kirkwall. In the attractive burg of Kirkwall, and just across the road from the fine medieval cathedral, the ruinous Bishop's Palace consists of a rectangular block and impressive round tower. The building dates from the 12th century, and a courtyard wall probably joined it to the nearby Renaissance Earl's Palace. The Bishop's Palace was the residence of the bishops of Orkney from the 12th century, when the islands were held by the Norsemen. King Harkenson died here in 1263 after his defeat by the Scots at the Battle of Largs. There are stories of an underground tunnel connecting the Bishop's Palace to the cathedral. The tunnel is said to be haunted by a ghostly piper, an unfortunate fellow sent to explore the subterranean passageway. He reputedly never returned, but at times phantom pipes are reputedly heard skirling up from beneath ground. That's an interesting word, skirling. Don't think I've ever come across that before. Skirling. Points on for the word skirling. Points off for the fact that he reputedly never returned, but the phantom pipes are reputedly heard. Two uses of the word reputedly in the same sentence. Yeah, don't like that. And judging by the way Derp's out digging his claws into my knee, he doesn't like it either. So cheers, me beers. I knew I should have got some McEwan's Scottish Export or something like that for tonight. I was originally going to do some neeps and tatties tonight and go down to Waitrose and get myself a vegetarian haggis. But I didn't. So failure on that point, Derps. Cheers. Right. The Black Bull Inn, Kirkintilloch. On the High Street, the Black Bull Inn used to occupy the site of what is now the Tantra nightclub. Some of the inn building, perhaps dating from 1731, is said to survive in the fabric of the nightclub, which was originally built as a cinema and was then used as a bingo hall. A misty presence has reportedly been spotted more than once at the foot of the stairs leading down to the fire exit at the rear of the building. And there are also accounts of a sinister black apparition witnessed overlooking the dance floor and stage. Unexplained crashes and disembodied groans have also reputedly been heard in the building. The story goes that a man who worked in the cinema in the 1920s or 1930s hanged himself in the upper part of the building, and it is his ghost who haunts the nightclub. Well, which was it, the 1920s or the 1930s? Come on, be specific. What are we up to, Derps? 21 minutes. Slange me bar. Oh, lovely. Yeah, so I was hoping to have neeps and tatties tonight and vegetarian haggis from Waitrose. Completely forgot. I was too busy faffing around doing other things today, wasn't I, Derp? So we're just going to have a lovely salad tonight, which I love my lovely salads. Lovely salad and some South Park. There we go. Blackett House. Blackett House is a ruined L-plan tower house dating from the 16th century. And this was a property of the unruly Bell family. The Bells of Blackett were chiefs, and they were warned about their unruly conduct in a royal letter of 1517, while the tower was sacked by the English in 1547. One of the family was the rejected suitor and the murderer of Fair Helen of Kirkconnell Lee, as related in the old ballad. He tried to shoot Helen's lover, Adam Fleming, but she took the bullet and was slain instead. The building was said to be haunted by a ghost known as the Bogle of Blackett House, also called Old Redcap or Bloody Bell. Just having a look to see how many more pages have we got to go. I'm not how many more pages, how many more stories. Oh, goodness me, we've got a monster of a story here. No, we haven't. These are all brilliant. These are all beautifully short. Absolutely. This is how we like a ghost story book to be written. So, cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. Do you know what? Do you know what, Derps? We are going to top up the bump element. I think it's going to be a 3 bumper tonight. It definitely is going to be a 3 bumper. And I think we've spilt some of our... We have spilt some of our corn down there into the box. So I'm just reaching down into the box to get some of the corn. Bye-bye, Derp. Blackness Castle. Standing on an outcrop of rock on a promontory in the Firth of Forth, Blackness is a grim and impressive courtyard castle, which was used as a state prison and has a long and eventful history, being besieged and sacked several times. The castle was built in the 15th century by the Crichton family, but was much modified in later centuries for artillery. In 1912, the castle was handed over to the care of the state, and a major program of restoration and repair was carried out between 1926 and 1935. It is now in the care of Historic Scotland. Some stories tell of unexplained banging or other sounds, such as furniture being dragged across the floor, coming from areas of the building which are unoccupied. And so it's the story goes across 2 pages here. Right. Some stories tell of unexplained banging or other sounds, such as furniture being dragged across the floor, coming from areas of the building which are unoccupied. And there is an account of a visitor fleeing after being chased by the apparition of an angry knight. That's that one done. Oh, these are beautifully written. Oh, we got some fan mail has just turned up. Let's just read the fan mail. Oh my goodness me, I can't read that out. That is absolutely vile. No. Oh, that's a point. I must take advantage of the fact that I've got these bath bombs that I really should use up. So I think we might have a bath this week. Oh, excuse me. That wasn't a beer burp, that was the beer hiccups. So that was the beer hiccups as well. Right. Oh, let's have a beer in a bump. What are we up to? 27 minutes. Yeah, we're coming up to half time. So Slange. Oh, delicious. Oh, lovely. Blair Street Vaults, Edinburgh. Described by some as the most haunted place in Scotland, the vaults are contained within the foundations of the 19 stone arches of Southbridge, which span the dip over the Cowgate and was built in 1788. Tenements were built on each side of the bridge, rising many stories, and the vaults were put to a variety of purposes, including workshops, storage, and dwelling places. Okay. Dwelling places, not dwellings places, and dwellings places, but were eventually abandoned except for use as air raid shelters during World War II. In the 1990s, the vaults were cleared out and opened up for visitors, and there are many reports of bogles and supernatural activity. The vaults are said to be haunted by at least 9 ghosts. One is known as Mr. Boots. And is described as being clad in a long blue frock coat with leather boots. One is known as Mr. Boots and is described as being clad in a long blue frock coat with leather boots. This phantom is reputed to be an unpleasant spirit, resentful of intruders, and to have often been spotted or witnessed by many visitors, including by a party of 14 people and their guide at the same time. The ghost is accused of breathing whiskey vapor on people, whispering obscenities and blocking doorways or pushing past folk. Don't look at me, folks. I know it. I know, but coincidence. A second bogle is alleged to be that of a boy called Jack who pulls on visitors' clothing, while a third is that of a cobbler, said to be a happy spirit that watches visitors. There are also tales of a lady in black, a more sinister entity that is said to focus on pregnant women, as well as a ghostly hound, a man garbed in a cloak and top hat, an old lady, and the apparition of a crouching naked man. Observed floating just under the roof. It is thought that there was once a floor at that height. Derp, you're interrupting the show. Welcome to Sunday Night Cat Stories. Right, there we go. Other manifestations are claimed to include blowing on the necks of folk and breathing sounds, disembodied footsteps, voices growling and the sounds of an object being dragged along the floor, mysterious smells, stones being thrown at and scratches inflicted on visitors, people being pushed or jostled, sudden drops in temperature, and torches and lights stopping work without apparent cause. A heavy wooden church pew is also reported to have been smashed by ghostly means, and candles to have been thrown about. We're through the half-hour mark. I've got to say, mysterious smells. Having this evening emptied his derpy lurpiness's catlet tray, I can certainly relate to mysterious smells. Oh my goodness me, that was grim stuff, wasn't it, Derp? And it's your fault as well. So, well, not your fault, you're doing. Anyway, half time, folks. Cheers, me beers. Oh, delicious. Slange. So part 2 of tonight's beers is this one, Shindigger Icon Series Stout, Coffee Stout, 4.5%, made in Manchester. So we've had the Leeds Brewery, we've got the Manchester Brewery. Enjoy that moment. Shindigger was founded in 2013 by two mates selling homebrew at student house parties in Manchester. Our ethos is the same today as it was back then, making good times better with fresh, tasty beers. Oh, the sound of that. There we go. Shindigger Stout, Toffee Stout, 4.5%. So, it smells nice. So, what have we been up to today? No, it's been mostly prepping for the other show that I do on a Sunday night. And also, if you, Lucinda, is watching, brace yourself, bit of tidying up. And also, I was hoping to get more of my bulbs in today. I've got loads of daffs that need putting in, but if the weather's good tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. So it's a full-on week this week. I'm hoping to have chips and mushy peas with friend Faye on Tuesday. Wednesday, hoping to have a walk with Reg. Thursday, something's happening. I can't remember what Thursday is. Friday, blank slate at the moment, but open to offers, folks. And Monday and work as well. So I'll be doing work in the meantime, odds, because trust me, drinking tea in cafes, having tea and cake in cafes does not pay the electric bill. So I'm just reaching into the box here to get the last of the toffee, the corn out. That's fine. Yeah, there we go. So, but yeah, so we will be cracking on with work. I am this close to finishing off another project, which is exciting stuff because I polished off 2 last week, got them off to repro. We've got projects in the workshop that we're cracking on with. We've got wildlife projects we're cracking on with. So, quite frankly, it is a case of making the most of whatever time I have left on this mortal coil. Something I've tried to impress upon my family who don't get it. Why are you so keen to get on with life? Because I spent a month where I didn't know whether I'd see into the next week, never alone the next month or the next year. So I am very keen to get things done whilst I'm still ambulatory. That's about it, really. I can't think of anything else. Let's pour some more of the beer because I'm dirt starving, folks. I really is dirt hungry. About the only things I've eaten today are these snacks. In fact, we're just going to have another pretzel. And I think I had a toffee. What do I have? A chocolate. Oh, it's whatever those things are. I eat the fiber bars and a banana, and that's been it. So right. Brilliant. So that's pretty much it. There is a Rush lyric. There is always a Rush lyric in my life, but this is from Prime Mover, track off of their 1987 album Hold Your Fire, which is one of my favorites. That Hold Power Windows, its predecessor in 1985, and Hold Your Fire in 1987, pretty much my two favorite Rush albums. But there is a line in Prime Mover which is Thrill to Be Alive. And here is the weird bit, is that on the, what do you do on Sunday night? I tuned in to watch Ghost Stories, but instead he started whittering on about bloody Rush for some reason. But on the 1988 video release of the live concert, A Show of Hands, which was recorded at the Birmingham NEC, and I was there with my friend Michael, just after, it was the day after my 21st birthday party. Anyway, on the video of A Show of Hands, there is a brief moment during the when Rush are singing Prime Mover, the cameras cut away to the audience, and there's this young lad kind of like bouncing his head and grinning inanely. That's my good friend Drew. Now, at this point, I'd never met him, but he said to me, "No, that's me on the video." And I went back and watched it, and it's like, oh my God, it's Drew. And so for all those years that I'd be watching A Show of Hands on video, there was somebody I was yet to meet. Isn't that bizarre? Isn't that strange? But yeah, I was there that night. Yeah, with my good friend Mike. On the day Liverpool won yet another championship, First Division championship, as it was back then. Goodness me. What do you do on Sunday night? I tuned in to watch Ghost Stories, but I watched The Confused Man from Dudley, just kind of like banging on about reminiscences. This is the thing about the old head trauma, is that I have perfect recall of things that happened 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Ask me what happened last week. I haven't got a clue. Right. What do you know, folks? There we go. Another case of Dead Soldier and Run V2.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, Dead Soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
What I love about that clip is the fact that one of the people in that little sequence then appeared alongside Digital Dinosaurs by Industrial Light and Magic. Of course, we're talking about Sir Richard Attenborough. I love trivia like that. Anyway, Blantyre Priory, perched on a steep bank of the Clyde opposite Bothwell Castle, little remains of the Augustinian Priory, founded around 1240, which is 20 to 1, by Patrick, Earl of Dunbar. The property passed to Walter Stewart of Minto in 1599 after the Reformation, and the Stuarts were made Lords Blantyre in 1606. Oh, the beer burps at 41 minutes and 30 seconds. There we go. Do apologise for that. The Stuarts lived in the Priory, but by 1606, Lady Blantyre fled with her daughters, leaving Lord Blantyre in the building. The reason given was the ghostly activities and unexplained noises that plagued the household at night. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, got some fan mail turned up. Let's just read the fan mail. Bum, bum, bum. Beer and a bump time. So we haven't tried any of this. No, that's the Midnight Bell. That's the other one, Root Noctis. Oh, I can't find the blessed can here. Here it is. Shindigger Icon Series Stout, Toffee Stout, 4.5%, made in Manchester. There we go. Let's give it a swig. Cheers, me beers. Smells very sweet. Oh, they're not kidding when they say toffee stout. Oh my goodness me. That's like an alcoholic Mars bar. Oh, that is lovely. Oh, top dollar stuff. Cheers, me beers. Oh, we've got some fan mail. My laptop US Chrome charger has just broken. Amazon right, let's crack on, shall we? Blantyre Priory, perched on a steep bank on the Clyde opposite Bothwell Castle, little remains of, oh, we've read that one, Bleabo House. Bleabo was long a property of the Trail family, and one of the family was Walter Trail, Bishop of St Andrews in 1385 and ambassador to France. The lands were sold to the Beatons in 1649, and in the 18th century they moved their seat to Bleabo House, which stands in fine wooded policies and is still occupied. A spectral coach has been furiously driven by a headless coachman. A spectral coach being furiously driven by a headless coachman has reputedly been seen along the back drive of Bleabo House, and some have suggested that this is another apparition associated with Cardinal David Beaton, although the Beatons did not hold the property until 100 years after his death. Small point. Oh, these are all beautifully short. Oh my goodness me. Perfect. We might actually carry on with this one afterwards. I'm not entirely sure. You tell me, folks, should we carry on with the haunted places of Scotland when we finish? Because we still have, we were still halfway through another book, and we've still got the Haunted Almanac of Devon and Cornwall to catch up with on Wednesday. So we'll have a think about it. Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. Oh, we're going to have some more. We'll have some more of the bear with, folks, bear with. Bear with. Bear with. just trying to sort out an Amazon order for somebody. So Bodesbeck Castle. Nothing remains of an old tower house which stood here, a property of the Moffat family. The Moffats got into a long and costly feud with the powerful and warlike Johnstones, which led to the murder of the Moffat chief in 1557, and to the Moffats losing their lands in the first part of the 17th century. Bodesbeck is said to have had a brownie which came here after. Read that again. Bodesbeck Castle. Nothing remains of an old tower house which stood here, a property of the Moffat family. The Moffats got into a long and costly feud with the powerful and warlike Johnstones, which led to the murder of the Moffat chief in 1557, and to the Moffats losing their lands in the first part of the 17th century. Bodesbeck is said to have had a brownie which came here after deserting the Johnstones of Wamphray. Their tower was also known as Leithenhall. Yeah. Bodesbeck is said to have had a brownie which came here after deserting the Johnstones of Wamphray. Their tower was also known as Leithenhall. Some versions have the brownie going in the other direction, leaving Bodesbeck after being given inappropriate food, crying, "Ke brownie ke our luck o Bodesbeck our Talithana." This may be a reference to the bitter feud with the Johnstones of Wamphray. Also see that entry, although the Johnstones managed to lose Wamphray after they got involved in the Jacobite Rising of 1745 to 46. And they lost it after having a son called Boris. So, slange me by everybody. Oh. Bear with, I'm just doing a yet another blessed Amazon order. What it is to have a Amazon Prime account that friends want you to order things for them all the time. There we go. They're probably watching me at the moment thinking, you ingrate, I'm giving you the opportunity to order me something. Right, there we go. Right, let's crack on, because what are we up to? 50 minutes and 32 seconds. Quite frankly, I's gert hungry, and it's been a long day for a great big lump like me not to have something substantial to eat. So cheers, viewers. Oh, lovely. Boat Hotel, Boat of Garton. Set in a lovely spot near to the River Spey and overlooking the Strathspey Stream Railway. Boat Hotel, Boat of Garton. Set in a lovely spot near to the River Spey and overlooking the Strathspey Steam Railway, the Boat Hotel is a comfortable and welcoming establishment. The hotel is said by some to be haunted. I should hope so. We're in the middle of a bloody ghost story, but for goodness sake. The hotel is said by some to be haunted. The story goes that a man intervened when one of his companions was attacked and was himself killed, and that his ghost has been witnessed in the building. And that's it. Oh, the beer burps again at 52 minutes and 23 seconds. Oh. Cracking book, by the way. Goodness me, I don't know why we haven't been reading this one more often. I think it's because we've been keeping it for Burns Night. So happy Burns Night, everybody. Cheers, me beers. And indeed, again, a big shout to viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States for the United Federation of Planet Shot Glass. Cheers, me beers. Oh my goodness me. It's going to be a three bump episode tonight. Ah, what the hell. Right, let's crack on. I've forgotten where we were last time. There we go. Boglestown, Port Glasgow. Standing by the road between Port Glasgow and Kilmalcolm, the Boglestown is a large shattered block of rock which was formerly much larger than it is today. Aren't they all, ladies? Rising to some 8 or 9 foot high and being large enough to seat a large company. Aren't they all, ladies? The stone was associated with a bogle, in this case an unpleasant spirit, which was often seen lurking by the stone and frightening anyone approaching the stone. I don't think we need to have the stone twice, but there we go. Despite this, the stone became a place of picnics and trysts. Whether because of this supernatural association or more prosaically to furnish stone to build dikes, the Boglestown was blown up by a minister, greatly reducing it, although it was later somewhat rebuilt. Incroyable, up to 50 minutes. Oh my goodness me. Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. Oh, lovely. Bonchester Bridge. The road here, the A6088, runs northwest from the English border on towards Howick, crossing Rule Water at Bonchester Bridge. The hamlet is overlooked by Bonchester Hill, on the summit of which is a large hill fort. There are stories that ghostly Roman soldiers have been seen approaching Bonchester Bridge, marching west along the road. Incroyable, everybody. Incroyable. We're going to have some more snacks because we's gert hungry. Bear with. Sorry, answering text messages. I shouldn't do that when I'm doing live on broadcasts. Can you imagine that? Watching BBC News and Fiona Bruce suddenly picks up her phone and starts reading it. I nearly mentioned a BBC News reader who has since descended into disgrace. So, you know the one I mean. The Welsh one. Cheers, me beers. Oh, delicious. What are we up to? 57 minutes. Yeah, I think we'll one more and that'll be it. Oh. Bear with. Bear with. Bear with. Right. Let's have some more pretzels. And then the last ones from tonight. So Borthwick Castle. One of the most impressive castles in Scotland. Borthwick Castle is a massive looming U-plan tower house rising to a 110 foot high with walls up to 14 foot thick in places. The Great Hall is one of the finest in the country and has a massive canopied fireplace. The castle, now a hotel, was apparently recently put up for sale. The castle, now a hotel, was apparently recently put up for sale for offers of more than £3 million. The castle was built by Sir William Borthwick in 1430, which is 2:30. The tomb of Borthwick is in nearby Borthwick Church, which is open to the public, and there are two stone effigies thought to be the best preserved in Scotland, and to be of Sir William and his wife Beatrice Sinclair, daughter of the Earl of Orkney. The effigies were painted and gilded when first carved. Mary, Queen of Scots, and James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell, stayed at the castle in 1567. Bothwell was Mary's third husband, but Mary had to flee, disguised as a page boy, as her enemies attempted to besiege her here. It is recorded that her apparition, garbed as a man, has been seen at Borthwick. A second, nastier tale concerns a local girl called Anne Grant, who was apparently made pregnant by one of the Borthwick lords. The poor young woman, heavy with child, was seized, slashed across the abdomen with a sword, and left to die in her own blood in what is now the Red Room. A modern visitor to the castle reported how he had seen a vision of the murder, as did a previous owner. Manifestations in the Red Room are said to include the temperature suddenly dropping, unexplained scratchings being heard on the inside of the door, as well as disembodied footsteps on the turnpike stair from the room. There is also an account of a heavy fire door opening by itself one night, and during a business conference, weeping and wailing was apparently heard coming from an empty part of the castle. It is believed that one of the previous owners had the Red Room exorcised, but apparently to no effect. A third ghost is said to be that of a chancellor of the castle who was executed by being burnt to death after being caught embezzling money from the Borthwicks. And that's it. Oh my goodness me. 1 hour and 2 minutes, but you've had your money's worth. So cheers, me beers. Slange. Oh, delicious. A slange. Oh, deliciouser. There they are, both in the glass. That's it for tonight. I'm just thinking, should we carry on with Haunted Places of Scotland, or shall we carry on with the other book that we were reading the other night? I'll have a think about that. We've got 2 and a bit days until the next installment of Sunday Night Ghost Stories, which will be Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra on a Wednesday. Yeah, we'll have a think about that. But until then, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Why? Why not? What else are you going to do on a Sunday night than watch a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head, drink ghost stories and read alcohol? Come on, folks. Match of the Day 2 is on. I don't know who won between United and Arsenal. I get the feeling United probably nicked it. But hopefully we'll pick up again on Wednesday. So until then, I am contractually obliged to behove to you that please stay safe, stay out of trouble, and please don't have nightmares. Good night.